We just had another Duo Cash Cup finish and once again saw Clix take home a tournament win, and this time it's got me wondering if they might potentially be the new favorites to win on NA and FNCS Grand Finals this season. And in this video we have a lot to talk about, as the NA Duos Cash Cup was super stacked and saw a pretty close finish with 3 teams in the running to win the last game. And also afterwards, we also had some slight beef between Veno and PeterBot about a forecast tower. And also on EU, we saw some insane performances as well, just like NA. But before I get into the recap, if you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, as I really want to reach 15,000 subscribers before the season ends. Now let's get into the recap. And starting it off with the NA Duos Cash Cup, which saw Clix and Veno take home first place on 414 points, winning 2 of the matches and having an average placement of 4, which is insane. They had no game lower than an 11th place and had a 3rd place, a 1st place, a 7th place, another 1st place, an 11th place, and a 3rd place to end the tournament and finish in 1st place. And they needed every single one of these games, as going into the last game, they only had a 16-point lead over PeterBot for 1st place. And then Bugha wasn't far behind PeterBot as well. So overall, it was a super close race going into the last game with 3 teams potentially in the running to win the Cash Cup. And Clix and Veno ended up pulling it out. But Bugha and Rapid did well in the last game as well. And they ended up finishing 2nd place on 394 points. And they also had an average placement of 4. And their worst game was only a 13th place, which was in the first match. After the first match, they had a 2nd place, a 3rd place, a 6th place, a 2nd place, and another 2nd place to finish the tournament. And this is like 3 straight tournaments where they get 2nd place in the last games. So Bugha and Rapid are literally like the #1 finishers of tournaments right now. Going into the last game, they just go Super Saiyan mode and get 2nd place and always pop off. And this Cash Cup honestly has me wondering who's the favorite right now in NA for FNCS Grand Finals. And I'm honestly stuck between Clix and Veno and Bugha and Rapid after these recent performances, with Acorn and Cold kind of falling off a little bit and not playing this Cash Cup as well because Cold was out of town visiting family. I think I'm gonna have to go with Clix or Veno or Bugha and Rapid. Both of these teams are playing super consistent, but if I did have to pick one, I think I would lean towards Bugha and Rapid here. They have gone first, and 2nd in Cash Cups this season, and also in FNCS have gotten 3rd and 5th. So they have just been insanely consistent this season so far in tournaments. But Clix and Veno, after those first 2 Cash Cups where they didn't do very well and got 20th and 22nd, have absolutely turned it up since then in both FNCS finals and the Cash Cup since then. So Clix and Veno are definitely doing what they need to do to be considered favorites on the region. Let me know down in the comments below if you think Clix and Veno are potentially the favorites now on NA after popping off recently. But moving on, we also had PeterBot and Poyo in 3rd place on 390 points. And if PeterBot and Poyo did not make an oopsie in game 1 and go and try to push a team off spawn and ended up dying, I think PeterBot and Poyo would have had a better chance, if not the best chance, to win this tournament, because they only finished 3rd place by 24 points, and that's basically with 5 games played. In game 1, PeterBot and Poyo got the medallion in the Mythic AR early and tried to push the EU player Teeny early off spawn and ended up actually dying to Teeny in a very bad misplay of a fight by PeterBot and Poyo. So sadly, that costed PeterBot and Poyo the tournament, but at the end of the day, they still played very well and are one of the best teams on NA 100%. And also, once again, proving the doubters wrong and proving that the allegations of them being washed or them not being good without the Grim Gate coin wrong once again. And like I've been saying, PeterBot and Poyo are still insane at set lobbies, and they prove it once again with a top 3 in basically 5 matches. Next, in 4th place, we have Naad and Cooper on 317 points. And it's crazy to think that this is only their 2nd finals of the season due to missing a couple tournaments and then not qualifying to a couple tournaments as well. So Naad and Cooper with a 4th place in their first Duo Cash Cup, and they also just got 4th place in their first FNCS finals as well. So Naad and Cooper are starting to hit form at the perfect time in the season, but sadly we are about to go on a 2-week break with no tournaments. And rounding out the top 5 on NA, we have Agers and Rise in 5th place on 290 points. Finally, we see an Agers and Rise performance that we were probably expecting at the beginning of the season. I was expecting to see this a long time ago, and it finally comes in the last Duo Cash Cup before we go into this little bit of a break. I think Agers and Rise are another team that's starting to get better and better at the perfect time of the season, and are once again entering that talks as one of the better teams on NA for me. And this was a team that I thought would have been at this point earlier in the season, but hey, at least they're getting into the conversation at some point. But after the tournament finished, when Clix posted that he won the Cash Cup, PeterBot replied saying 99.3 zone reveal, you guys are crazy, with a video of basically Clix and Veno's strategy of getting forecast and then playing in zone the entire game and getting into zone later in the game. And he's basically just saying Clix and Veno are getting carried by forecast every game. And then you could probably guess what people were saying to that. PeterBot did have the Grimgate coin last season, but it's just a normal Fortnite Pro thing to do. Whenever a Fortnite Pro doesn't have the current most broken POI, they always will complain about someone else's drop spot, but that's honestly just how it works. But yes, Clix and Veno's forecast tower does 100% help them, but at the end of the day, what can you do? If you really want it, go fight for it yourself as well. But moving on, I want to talk about Vico and Flixie's performance in the EU Duo Cash Cup now, where they got 465 points, and their first 5 games were a first place with 15 elims, a second place with 10 elims, another second place with 7 elims, a third place with 3 elims, and another third place with 10 elims. And then sadly in the last game, they did end up getting grief, so it kind of ruined the match history a little bit. But overall, this is a one-of-a-kind match history and one of the greatest Cash Cup performances we've ever seen. Getting top 5 of the 6 games is PeterBot and Pollo-like from last season, and this team was referred to as the PeterBot and Pollo of EU going into the season, with basically 2 fraggers making up a duo. And the PeterBot and Pollo experiment of EU seems to be working, as this team just absolutely popped off yesterday. And then moving on, we have Swizzy and Vanyak in the EU Duo Cash Cup, who got 3 wins and still lost by almost 100 points. And that's just a testament to how good Flixie and Vico really did yesterday. But overall, a super good performance from Swizzy and Vanyak as well, the reigning FNCS champions on EU, and also still my favorites to win FNCS again on EU this season. But with a performance like this from Vico and Flixie, they're definitely going to start creeping into some conversations for one of the favorites heading into semifinals and grand finals on EU this season for a lot of people. Now, like I mentioned a couple times in this video, we do have over a 2-week break until the next Duos Cash Cup, so there's not going to be too much content going on in the next 2 weeks. So a little bit of a chill break for everybody to kind of sit back and relax after essentially non-stop Fortnite for the last 14 days. So I think this could be good for some teams. But for some teams that are pretty momentum based, this could maybe hurt them, but I think they'll be fine. A break is good for everybody at this stage. But anyways, that's going to do it for me in this video, guys. Make sure to subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and turn on notifications to never miss an upload just like this one for a tournament recap with some insane performances and an insane finish on an A, and also to always be caught up on anything Fortnite competitive that happens within the loot pool, within tournaments, or anything like that. And also, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, as it would help it get pushed out to more people. And once again, if you guys stopped by the YouTube stream, thank you guys for all the support on the streams on YouTube, if you were there, or if you were on Twitch. We had almost 300 viewers at one point last night on the YouTube streams, so thank you guys so much for that. And that's going to do it for me in this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.